this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I have what I hope is going to be a quick and easy birthday card for you today. I've pulled several things. First of all, I've pulled my Nana's Kids mat stack, and I'm going to be using this purple raised paper. It's embossed on one side and two shades of purple on the front. I am going to be using, from Recollections, I'm going to be using this Soda Pop stack, and I'm using the pink. I'm going to be using, from Close to My Heart, I'm going to be using the Smoky Plum. From 3 Girl Jam, I'm going to be using the Baby Girl and the Iris Ribbon. One or both of those, I haven't quite decided yet. We'll see kind of how the card goes together. And then I'm going to be using the Close to My Heart Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge, and I'm using page 37, the card feature, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. This is the first time I've used the card feature off this, and I just want to tell you what I learned, but we'll get there in a minute. And then I'm using this stamp, and honestly, I don't know off the top of my head what brand it is or even where I got it. It's just a happy birthday stamp that I found in my stash from somewhere. So let's get started. Let's put the scraps aside. This is the piece from the Nana's mat stack I've already cut, and I've cut it at 4 inches tall this way and 5 1/4 inches wide. I'm just going to set that aside, and we're going to use that. And I've got my old nasty dirty mat stack, or my mat here, but this is one of the stickier ones that I have. Now I have the regular Cricut Expression, and so I want to tell you how this one worked for me. I put my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on like this, and when I looked at this card here, I kind of thought maybe this is set up for the Expression 2. I'm not sure, because I've never used an Expression 2, but I thought that it would cut it this way. And so I looked at it and I thought, well, based on the dimension I'm seeing, it looks like it's a 5.5 inch wide card. And so if I cut it at the 8.5 inches, then that would give me the long side. Well, it didn't really work that way. And so I thought, well, let's just try it the other way. So for the Cricut Expression, what I did is I cut this card at 5.5 inches. Now, basically what that means is I lost almost a whole piece. You know, I could only get one thing off of it. I'm not going to be able to get 2 cards like normally at 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper I would get 2 cards out of. But when I pulled this off after I cut it, I haven't pulled it off yet because I wanted you to see how it goes. So it went into the Cricut like this, and it cut it this way. And so when I pull up, let's get rid of the scrap and you can see it a little bit better. And then I'll pull up, whoops, wrong tool. I'll pull up my card here, and you'll be able to see it even better. And when I measured it out, it measured to be pretty close to the right size. This way is 5.5, and this way is 8.5. So that if you go with the 5.5 inch size card, at least for this particular card on page 37, it's going to be your standard A2 size card. So all that to say, that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to just set these hearts aside. I don't know whether I'll use them or not. Maybe I could put them on the envelope or something as well. So I'm going to pull out my scoreboard, and I'm going to score along. Now there's already the score line marks here, and I actually plan to use those for my ribbon. I'm going to kind of cheat it a little bit and use them for my ribbon. But I'm still going to score along that line. And unfortunately, I am missing my very favorite in the whole world bone folder. I'm sure it's in this disaster of a craft room somewhere, but for now I am missing it. So I've pulled out my old Cricut one, which is a good one too. It's just not my favorite. So there's my card base, just like that. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stamp my image. or my message. And this is going to be such a super simple card. You're not even going to believe how simple it's going to be. And it's for a little girl. So that's why I'm going with the pink and purple theme. So I've got my stamp here. And I'm just going to play with it and see where I want to put it. I think I'll just nestle it in, maybe just like right there. Again, we're going to have that whole pink and purple thing. Now, I know for the particular niece that I'm making this for, her mom's favorite color is purple. I don't know what her favorite color is. She's just a little tiny girl. She's maybe, I can't remember, I think she may have turned 3 or 4. So I figured you can't really go wrong with pink and purple, right? So we've got the happy birthday. And I'm just cleaning up that stamp. I may end up needing some more fun things, but what I wanted to do is I wanted the purple to show through. So in order to do that, we're going to have to kind of put this on backwards. And so I'm actually going to be adhering the card base to the front. I'm going to be adhering it here, but what I'm trying to decide here, do I want ribbon? Do I have another flower? I could put ribbon across here now that it's a little more simple than what I thought it would be. Maybe I will do that. I think I'm going to go ahead. I was going to put the ribbon up through and tie it up here into a bow, but I think we're going to just play with it and do it a little bit differently. That is the process. This is my creative process, how it works. Sometimes it's a little crazy the way my creative process works. I will admit that. Sometimes it's a lot crazy. Let's put a little more here, and we'll just cut it and play with it. And I want this to be under the, if I leave it here, I want it to be underneath the purple because I don't want it to show on the underside. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm going ahead and doing it before I adhere the underside. So I think I'm just going to tie it in a bow. It's kind of difficult to tie with the two different colors. And that pink, that purple is so subtle. Even the pink is subtle against the bright pink of the lollipop. But I think it's very little girl-like. Okay, that's better. And I know that bow's not perfect. That's okay. I'm good with the bow not being perfect. That I can fix. I just want to make sure I've got plenty of room for the bow here. I think it's getting late enough, I'm getting tired enough that I can make even a simple card a little bit complicated, as I'm doing tonight. So I'm just going to put some adhesive down here, and I'm going to be really careful around the edges of the hearts because I want to really make sure that it's going to adhere well around that heart. Now, there is another option for doing this. If you were doing a card, unlike this one that is raised, because this Nana Stack, this particular one is a raised, it's like an embossed paper, and I wouldn't be able to write my message on it. So if I was using just a simple mat, a simple purple mat, what I could do, yes, I got my adhesive off here, so I'm just rubbing off some of the extra. What I could do was adhere it down here, and then you would see, you would still see something coming through the hearts. But I didn't want the pink to be on pink, and I wanted to use this purple paper and I couldn't do that and write on it. So yes, the backside's going to show, but I'm really okay with that. It's fine. But I really wanted the purple to show, so that's why, since I can't write on it. Another option would have been I could have then mounted on the other side. Or I could have put a second mat to write something on, you know, maybe a light pink mat that wouldn't show through the hearts, and that would have worked as well. I just opted to do it this way. But there's a lot of options here, and there's a lot of possibilities in what you're doing. This is just the way that I chose to do this one. But you know, I could make this same card tomorrow with a totally different fill, and it would be just fine. So I'm going to play with the bow a little bit, get it up to the way I want it. Again, this would be a great place for the 3 Girl Jam bow maker, but I didn't, the way I tied it, I couldn't use it today. I could have just tied it and then added a bow. I've done that before. But anyway, so there's my card. At the end you'll see the final picture. Very simple. Happy birthday. And the inside's all done too. I'm not doing anything fancy with it. And it'll be perfect for that little girl. So thanks for stopping by, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.